Hi, welcome to my reading vlog in an absolute gorgeous cabin. I'm saying cabin loosely. For the weekend, come along as we read and we just enjoy everything there is to being in a mountain town. Yes, so as you can see, for the weekend, Jacob and I are staying in this gorgeous house. And literally, what better way to spend time in this house than read? So this is a book that I have chosen to read this weekend. This is my most anticipated read of this year. So high hopes for this bad boy. So with that, really have no other plans. The only plans we have this weekend is I am going to the spa tomorrow morning. Jacob is going skiing. I'm getting my relaxation on. So with that, let's get into her. Okay, had to shift over a little bit because of the sun. But so this is Isabella Venice's newest release, and I jumped at the fact to grab this because this is everything that I could want in a book. It is set in Renaissance era Florence, and it's definitely like a take on the Medici family that was reigning during this time, and I'm very excited about that. So this basically follows and that whole time period and weaving in like magic and witches and stuff like that. So basically this follows Ravenna, who's our main character. I think that's how you say her name. I honestly have no idea. But anyway, she is like a sculptress and she's secretly a witch, but no one really knows that. And her brother kind of gets like wrapped up in the politics of it all, and he is like in trouble. So the only way to save him is she enters this like sculpting competition run by the Luni family, which is just like the Medici family. Like they're like the top two families running Florence at the moment. She enters, and a reason to seal her fate is, you can see in there, she's holding like a stone. This is a night flame stone, and she puts that in the center of her statue, and that basically allows her, like, that basically is signifying her as a witch, but also gets the attention of the Luni family, and they select her. However, when they select her, they take her back to Florence, kind of against her will, and are like, you are a sculptor, you know how to work with rock, you need to extract this night flame that has been stuck in this rock for centuries. And she's like, really? So that's what she's kind of forced to do. And of course, she starts catching feels of enemies lovers type vibe to Santorino, who is like the head brother of the family. But obviously they're trying to run Florence, but simultaneously the Pope of Rome is also trying to take over Florence, and finds Ravenna basically being as a witch to be very intriguing. So it's kind of all of that wrapped into all of it. So yes, when I first heard that synopsis, I was like, yes, sign me up. Good morning. I decided to just sit fully in the sun. So we'll see how this goes. But this morning I am going to the spa. Jacob is going to be going skiing. I decided not to because your girl's been going through it. So she decided to go to the spa and treat herself. So you're coming along with me. My hair does look crazy, but it's about to look crazier because I'm getting a Indian head massage. So we're excited for that. But they have like a little sitting room that you can chill in before and after your treatment. And I thought that would be the perfect time to read. So the two books that I'm thinking about are Graceless Heart, which I'm halfway through. And I really want to try and finish this book this weekend, but like honestly, like the vibes are so good, but it's been so hard to like finish this book, which has been so frustrating. So there's that. And then I kind of just looked at my shelf and just kind of grabbed a random book to bring with me, which is the Throne of Secrets by Carrie Maniscalco. This is the second book in her like Prince of Sins series, and I've been wanting to read. This was going to be like on my like winter TBR. I wanted to get to this, and this place, it's definitely a good vibe for it, so I might read that. But also we are going to go to the bookstore too here, which is one of my favorite bookstores ever here in Edwards, so I might also be buying a new book, so we'll see. But yeah, that's a little morning update. Just gonna drink my little tea this morning and enjoy the view, and then go get my relaxing on. Okay. Okay, we just had breakfast and we are going to the bookstore now because actually Jacob wants a book, which is a rare occurrence.
I'm in need.
He's in need of a book, and I'm always in need of a book, so that's exciting. So we're gonna go to the bookstore in Edwards, which is also one of my favorite bookstores. It's so cute. The vibes are good. They also have a coffee shop in there, which we love. But yeah, I don't really have a book in mind that I'm gonna grab. I'm just gonna kind of read the vibes, see if anything picks up, because also the book I'm currently reading, it's not really doing it for me. So we're gonna see if I get anything, but we're also gonna try and find his book, which is, what is your book?
It's a great question.
You texted it to me.
A few moments later.
Heartbeat of Wounded Knee.
Yes.
Big Western guy.
Big Western guy. Something I would never read myself. But you never know. So anyway, we're gonna go there, just have a good brekkie, and then just chill for the rest of the day. But, okay. Okay, reading update from the floor, because why not? So looking at this gorgeous view, which I will show you soon, but wanted to talk about Graceless Heart. So I don't know. I am simultaneously reading this with a friend right now, and she is absolutely hating it. And maybe that is dictating me with my own opinions of wanting to enjoy this or not, but I have been struggling. I think around the 200-page mark, I just kind of lost interest, and I literally read a whole other book in the beginning of it, in the middle of it, and I think that says a lot. And I'm so upset because this was so high on my reading list that I literally have put off reading other books to read this book. So that's why I'm just kind of like, okay, what am I going to do? But so there has just been like I don't think enough momentum to keep the story propelled. And the main character is interesting. It's just kind of like the fact that this is a standalone. I have about 200 pages left. A lot needs to happen in those 200 pages to make this a complete book, in my opinion. Like, it has to do that to be able to make sense of it all. So that's where I'm struggling with it. I'm on page 300 right now. I think this book is around 460 pages. So I'm nearing to the end of it, but I just really want it to like pick up. And I've been struggling to care about it. And it was so good. It could have been so much cooler. Like, we're literally talking about Renaissance era Florence. There's women who are actual witches, and there's this like thing that she's holding, which is like called like the night flame, and she has been kind of stolen by this wealthy family in Florence to kind of extract this night flame from this rock because no one's been able to do it, and her magic is kind of the only one who's been able to do it. And there's the main like brother dude in the family who is a fae person, I want to say. He's not human, and he's very like scary, like the mysterious, tall, dark, and handsome man. Like, that's him. So she's been like struggling to like cope with her being like taken from this family, extracting this night flame, but also falling in love with or falling for this mysterious man. But their relationship's really weird. We're on page 300. Nothing's happened with this night flame. There's also this whole other side plot of the Pope of Rome who is wanting to try and take her away from this family, wants to get intel on this family. But I'm like, just not enough has happened yet. So I don't know. It's just like, it's not giving me what I really wanted it to give. And I'm really upset about that. I think she just did release that this is going to be a standalone, but they will have another book in this world. She will have another book in this world, but I don't know. I'm just so upset, but I want to keep pushing through to the end and see if I can finish it off. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. But I also want to show the book that I got at the bookstore today. Honestly, this book has been out for a while, but I haven't picked it up yet. And I just watched an Olivia Reads a Latte vlog, and she just picked this book back up and absolutely loved it. So I am going to be trying When the Moon Hatched. I'm really in the mood for a thick fantasy book. And I know this is way more of a romantasy book, but the reason why she was loving this book so much was honestly not for the romance, was for the political like plot lines that were throughout the novel and like where it was going towards the end. And I think the second book is coming out soon in the next couple of months. So I thought, what better time to pick this up than now? And I think that's really what I'm in the mood for, is definitely like a romantasy style book, but with heavy more on the world building and political stuff. And also the illustrations in this book are so pretty, and those have always drawn me to pick this book up, but I just never have. So I'm excited. I think that's going to be the next book I'm going to pick up after this, because I really have no plans after reading Graceless Heart. Graceless Heart has been on my mind since it came out like 2 weeks ago. And then I've just been struggling to read it, which has been so sad, but that's just what happens. So that's a little reading update. I'm going to try and read a little bit more today. And then we're really just going to marinate in this house, and I'm excited about that. Hello, good morning. I have finished it. I finished Graceless Heart last night, and I don't know what to think. I am definitely disappointed. This was definitely one of my most anticipated reads of this whole year. And I was a struggle for me. However, it was around like a 3-star read for me. And because of that, it's because the setting, the ideas, and maybe the last bit ending of this book, like, still allowed it to not be a 2-star book for me, but just because of the thought process behind it. I absolutely have adored that. I think it's so interesting, the Renaissance time period of Florence, and specifically with the Medici family. There's such history and lore there in itself, and I really respected Isabella Benes for tackling that in a very different way. She had like a couple pages at the end of talking about the time period and kind of things she incorporated into the book. So I did enjoy that, and so I applaud her for doing that. I just think it wasn't executed all the way there. I think the pacing was incredibly hard for me. I literally put this book down around like the 200-page mark, and I was so upset to do that. I literally put it down and I was like, I have to read something else. Otherwise, I'm going to get into a huge reading slump just because there's like nothing was happening. I think this book, the pacing, it just was like, it was so hot in the beginning. We were flying through it. And then once Ravina basically like got to the Looney family, to like extract these night flames, like we were just there for too long. And then on top of that, I feel like the relationship didn't necessarily grow in a way that felt more authentic. And even an enemies to lovers trope type of way, it wasn't even like that. It was like, oh, you're hot, but I hate you. And next page, oh, you're hot, and I actually really like you. So it was just kind of like, okay, all right. I think the little surprise things that she put in here, the little like reveals, I think were good of like the storylines. I called like 2 or 3 of them. And that's okay. I think it's fun when I be able to like predict what's happening, because then you're like, I'm so smart. But yeah, other than that, I just was like, I was wanting this to be a 5-star read for me, because I was like, this is everything that I love, but it just wasn't that. So I'm very interested. Also, the fact that it was a standalone, I definitely think the pacing should have been different. I think you try and pack as much punch as you can if this is a standalone, and it just didn't do that. I think she definitely was trying to build like this world up, and I also don't know if she's like doing, like, she's having a Renaissance type of witch series, but each book in the series is like a standalone story. So she just revealed that on her Instagram. So it's interesting, because I think the next one isn't even set in Italy. I think it's like in England, an English thing, or she's like, it's like a medical student, and then she's a witch too. So that being said, little disappointed, but it's okay. They're not all gonna hit. It's okay. I got to read it in this beautiful house, and so I definitely enjoy doing that. But yeah, that's kind of, I think, the end of this reading log. Obviously, wish we could have ended on a better book, but excited about the book that I picked up, and just been way more in a reading mood this year, which has made me very excited. So, because of that, stick around, hoping to make way more content. And yeah, hope you enjoyed this vlog. I'll catch you guys soon. Bye.